Hello, this is Alex from the Friends and Flayers podcast. Today I want to talk to you about Anchor. Anchor is legitimately the easiest way to make a podcast. It gives you everything you need to record, edit, and distribute your podcast all in one place. Best of all, it's free. That's right, you're not going to spend a single gold piece, or if you prefer, $1, if you're lame, on Anchor. They even distribute to other platforms like Spotify, iTunes, and Google. You easily make money from your podcast. No minimum listeners required. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Hello, this is your recaptain speaking, Joel from the Friends and Flayers podcast, here to give you a recap of Dearly Departed Part 4. Back in the tower, Gorham tells Marhalt and Aldrin about the voices he heard. Marhalt looks out the window and sees Tessa and some minstrel players outside the tower. She says when the party returns from the lake, they can attack and get the book back. Aldrin suggests we set up a trap for them. The party waits for Tessa and her gang to enter the tower. When they do, Aldrin creates an earthquake and traps them on the second floor. The minstrels fall prone, but Tessa saves and remains on her feet. After taking an ass beating from us, Tessa and her gang give up. She tells us Orlando and she grew up in the same orphanage. When Orlando left, he stole a book for his mentor, and Tessa wants to steal it for hers. Orlando returns dancing his dance of peace. Tessa asks him for the book. Orlando says he doesn't know anything about a book. The Whispers Academy treated Orlando poorly, and he has tried to bury those memories. Tessa believes Orlando has the book and left with his mentor. Orlando says he left alone, and his mentor left before him, and the story is all an invention of her mentors, Bayless. Tessa leaves and tells the party they won't be seeing her again. Reggie tells Gorham that the top floor of the tower was the mailroom. Marhalt spots a trapdoor in the ceiling of the room. He tries to get through the trapdoor with Gorham giving him a boost. He isn't strong enough, so Gorham pushes him through the door. On the roof, Marhalt finds a rotting sheep carcass and an unfinished nest. Tara was correct. It is a griffin. Aldrin identified it by its feathers. The party heads back to the pond to get fish for Tara's trap. On the way, Orlando spins a tale about how terrible the creatures in the pond are. When the party arrives at the pond, Orlando tries to throw branches into the water to bring the fish people back to the surface. It doesn't go well, and the episode ends with Gorham possibly drowning himself. Thus ends the recap for Dearly Departed Part 4. Stay tuned for Part 5. Just because he's bored and he thinks these creatures play by Harry Potter mermaid rules. Oh no!
He's drowning himself.
No,
Somebody help
natural
him.
one.
You actually, instead of putting your head in the water, you just shove your face into the murky mud that lines the bottom of the pond. You bring your face up and you look like the gross version of oh dang it, Mrs. Doubtfire when she puts her face in the cream pie.
I want to yell out to Aldrin, see what I mean?
You are the smart one. Marhalt,
right.
are you going to do anything?
Other than look at the weird people stuffing their faces in water, I guess I'm kind of being on the guard, making sure nothing comes up from behind.
Sure. Aldrin,
All right.
are you taking the plunge?
I am.
All right. You make your way into the water. It's where you're at is about chest deep. You start putting your head underwater, and you see a curious thing. Where the stone is, it makes a circular arch that connects to a base on the bottom of the pond. In all total, it's about 15 feet deep. So like the edge of the top of the stone is the max is probably like a couple inches over 15 feet. It makes it like a circle, almost like portal shape. Circular pedestal sits on the ground. Next to it, you see three strange-looking huts. They look like they're made out of mud that they like formed out of the mud that lines the pond. It might be the reason why the water's so murky is because they've been stirring up a bunch of mud to create these huts. But there are 3 huts currently.
Okay, poke my head back out and said, I found their houses.
You mean there really are creatures?
That, or this used to have primitive huts that got flooded out.
Interesting. So you're not a complete liar.
Well, that remains to be seen. It could just be native huts that were flooded out years ago.
Fair enough.
I'm just gonna start playing my harp. I play the Planetarian Song of Sadness.
Anyway, here's Wonderball.
I play Teenage Dirtbag
Okay.
in a minor chord.
So you're basically playing what appears to be a trailer to a movie nowadays. Yeah, so there's 3 mud huts and a strange stone portal underwater.
Is the portal active?
No.
Can you see anything in the huts?
I guess I will swim down to the huts.
Sure. Yeah, it takes you only a few moments to swim into the huts. You're not used to living underwater, so it looks strange to you because like things are like floating. There's a small pocket of air in one of the hut or in all the huts. As you enter the 3rd hut, you notice 3 bodies. They look like they've been gnawed on and chewed up. They're about the size of a halfling. Underwater, you can't really make out the color of the skin or anything like that, or many of the features, but you see 3 like floating, very bloated bodies, corpses for sure, just floating in one of the huts.
Okay. I'm gonna grab one and bring it to the shore.
Sure.
I would like to let out a
yeah,
gasp.
It doesn't look like the fish person you saw, Orlando, but everyone roll a knowledge nature for me.
I rolled a 20.
No,
I also rolled a 20.
You guys are killing.
I rolled another natural
Oh
fucking
my
one.
God, Joel! you need to have Reggie. You need to have Reggie do your rolls from now on. Goran's not getting it done.
Yeah, you need to go enrage so you can become your gnome.
That is a 17 for
Orlando, Marhalt, I can't say his name for some reason, and Aldrin, you peer at the bodies, and it's a puzzling thing. You've only heard about these creatures in stories. You've never actually seen one. No one's seen one in 125 years. You find 3 corpses of goblins.
That correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but that is a goblin, is it not?
If it is, then there's 2 more just like it down there.
Where
was
did
a
they
goblin.
come from? They're supposed to be on the other side of the wall.
There's what appears to be a portal down below. I don't know where it goes or what it's for, though.
Interesting.
Guys, I can't see. I still have, like, mud in my eye. Can somebody please tell me what's going on?
Aldrin
Goran,
I'm
take
just
a
gonna-
point of inspiration
goblin.
as you explained why you keep on rolling 1
Yes!
perfectly.
Nice.
Yes!
Nice.
Awesome!
Yes!
Oh, that was good. Sorry, I appreciated that a lot.
Yes. Thank you.
But yeah, you found corpses of goblins.
Goblins?
Mm-hmm.
Reggie.
Yeah,
what
it
do
looks
you
like...
think about goblins being down
sorry.
here?
Go ahead.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, you notice that they look like they've been eaten on, like they've been chewed upon maybe by the supposed fish creatures Orlando talked about.
The 8 feet vicious beasts that are these fish creatures.
How big are the bite marks?
About the size of a human's, maybe smaller.
They have really weirdly shaped mouths.
They do, to be fair. They do have fish mouths.
Are there claw marks or anything on them?
Yeah, you see small rakings. Probably not like sharp claws, but like you definitely they were killed underwater and eaten. Everyone can make an intelligence check for me. If you have insight, go ahead and roll an insight.
Oh, I do have insight. Hooray.
Mine is...
Oh my god.
Jesus, Joel!
Joel, you
That
rolled
is
another
fucking
one, so
bullshit.
the mud is caked in
Joel,
your eyes.
your
It's
rolls-
burning.
Joel, your rolls have been kissed by Neptune.
Good
I
job,
rolled-
guys.
Marhart rolled a 16.
Aldrin rolled a 19.
Again.
The computer hates
You guys
me.
are... It's funny, like, everyone except for Gorham is, like, on fire. Like, Gorham's just sucking up all the bad luck.
God damn, this sucks.
Aldrin, you jumped to the conclusion that they came through this portal, got attacked by the fish people, and eaten. You're assuming that the fish people fled through the portal somehow, and that's why they're not here. Probably because they're on guard duty, because it didn't look like these huts were where they were living. It looked like they were kind of like a guard station.
After learning about the portals underneath the huts, I look to the group and I say, are we about to throw away everything we know to go through this portal?
Oldrain said the portal is inactive. How
Well,
did he
there must
activate
be-
a portal?
I'm not a math magician.
So,
Talking
So you're
about
probably
huts.
the most arcane savvy person in this party right now.
You're not wrong, but I also have no bonuses to Arcana. I would
I'm
like to
gonna-
swim under. I want to swim underneath, and can you give yourself bardic inspiration?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to bardically inspire myself to perceive around the portal and underneath.
All right, go ahead and roll an Arcana check,
Why has it got to be Arcana?
You guys keep talking about huts.
because that's what it has to do with
I was
magic.
hoping it was going to be perception.
Come here. Come here, Goran.
17.
With your 17, looking at the portal, you know that the way the teleporting magics work is you need a catalyst of sorts, an activator to activate a stable portal like this. Usually they are connected to a point A to point B, but sometimes they're connected to other points, but you basically need some sort of device that connects, like, basically you need the telephone number, but the telephone number is like an object.
Okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Can we?
So basically,
This is just I feel like my character doesn't know this. I should be saying this, but I feel like one of the party members has something that could be useful in this situation. Perhaps a lockbox with goblin handwriting on it.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Are we talking about like Jabba and Pizza the Hut? Is that what's going on?
I want to look at Gorham and just give him the sternest hush.
Oh,
Come here, Goran. I'm going to help you get this mud out of your eyes.
I'm sorry, I just can't see. Reggie!
I'll help you out.
As Marhold is pulling the mud out of his eyes, I would like to minor illusion just more mud in his eyes.
Oh, it's coming out of my ears. There's so much mud.
it's like those videos of people like putting more shampoo on other people while they're showering.
It's just a bucket of mud that constantly pours on.
Like he keeps on like running his hands through his hair, but like just more and more mud. But anyway,
Reminds me of the one video where
you pull out
guys
the lock.
rinsing it up for so long they put red dye in at some point. He thinks he's wearing his scalp blood.
I love those videos. Aldrin, you pull out the lockbox. It's locked. Can anyone help him with that?
I would like to play the Planetarian song of opening, which is also just me. I think I have lockpicks.
I'm sure you do, buddy.
I do have lockpicks, so I will play the Planetarian song of lockpicking and attempt to open this locked box.
Okay. Go and roll a dexterity check.
Oh, that's a 9.
Yeah, you actually jam the lock. It
What is
doesn't
that?
open. You just jam it. Like you're like, I got this, and you just shove your lock picking tool in there, and you realize, oh, that's the wrong one. This is the big one. I need a little one.
Can I take the lockpick out and attempt? No. I'm going to tell them that this is the finest crafted lock I have ever seen in my days, and I don't believe that no mortal man can open it. Also, I have the wrong key.
Gorham, do you want to open this jar of pickles for me?
Sure. Me and Reggie will give that a try.
He says wearingly, because he doesn't know what this fucking dice is going to give him this time.
I will stop minor illusioning mud in his eyes.
Go ahead and roll an athletics check to break the locks.
Can I wait before? Finally.
Was that on purpose? Please tell me that.
Yes,
wasn't
I
on
did
purpose.
that. I did that
Okay.
one on purpose.
God
Okay.
bless you. God
I was
bless
hoping it
you.
was organic, and I'm like, this is heaven. Heaven sent. This is the
Every
sweet
other
Lord
time prior to
Paylor.
that was, but this time I actually did it on purpose.
Do we
Okay.
want to add like little sound bites like that? Because I feel like, oh no, there's another nat one. Womp womp. Might add a little bit of a flavor that we're looking for.
Gorham, you like see like there's a small seam where you can stick your fingers in, and you do so, and you get both sets of fingers in, and you open it up like a clam.
I want to look over at Aldrin and say, God, he must just be a vicious lover.
Inside, you see actually a few pieces of platinum, 3 in fact, and a ring with a ruby set in, or what's the word I'm looking for? The part of a
Inlay?
ring that fixture or whatever. Can't think of the name. It doesn't matter. There's a ruby
Inlay.
on it, and
Oh, in the
it looks like it'd be
A setting?
setting. That's the word. There we go. Thanks, Tony.
Sure.
A ruby
Inlay.
setting.
No, inlay would mean it was in the metal.
That's what I was gonna say,
I
but it's
know.
definitely not an inlay. With a ruby on it, it looks like it's probably worth like 150 gold pieces.
That's my class ring.
Yeah, basically.
Thanks, Jostins.
But other than that, there's not much in there. You have 3 platinum pieces, a ring, and then like a few scraps of paper that you can't read.
Are the platinum pieces common money? Does it look like it's from another country?
It actually looks very old. It has like the inscription of everyone's favorite goblinoid leader, Rengroth, on it. But when you look at it, he has less than normal goblin features.
How bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Do-do-do, do. How bizarre.
Yes!
How bizarre.
Tony, yes! Somebody
Joel,
else went there
we need
with
to
me.
we need to hang out more often, Joel.
Oh, somebody else went there with me, and I'm so happy about that.
Well,
Now,
I don't know
Kiss.
if these are going to open a
Oh.
portal.
I have this theory, and I'm pretty sure that Tony is just Joel, like 12 years in the future. I wish that I were kidding.
It's very possible.
Yeah, but you found a ring and 3 platinum pieces and some scraps of paper that you can't read because none of you read Goblinoid.
Well,
But I
don't think these are going to open any portal.
right.
Unless
So
it's hallway.
it sounds like we got to get to some sort of library where we can translate this Goblinoid message.
DM note. None of those notes are really, they're like missives to people. They're not going to be super important.
What if it's
Hey,
erotic
Orlando,
historical fiction?
roll a intelligence check for me.
But that's just a D20. And that's a 2.
I'm closing my eyes, and I'm trying to think of plausible reason why a 2 would work in this situation, but I can't.
If it means anything, I can do a comedic double take and then roll an 18.
Okay, that 18.
What?
Your DM previously described the fish creature wearing a necklace, specifically with a rock on it.
Uh-huh.
If you put 1 and 1 together, you probably come to the conclusion that the necklace had something more to do with the teleporting portal than anything. Not trying to give you answers, but there you go.
I don't put 1 and 1 together, and I am still absolutely bamboozled. But I think in the meantime, I would like to poke my head underneath and try to see if there are fish around.
Sure. Yeah. You don't even have to roll a perception check. You definitely know there are fish in the pond.
So I have an interesting scenario, and I would love to know if it would work if I could run it by you.
Sure.
Are you gonna play music to catch the fish?
Well, if I yell something underwater, will the fish hear me?
You're gonna Pied
Yes.
Piper the fish.
Sure.
Okay. I'm going to turn to different fish and just be like, "Listen here, you dumbass fish," and cast vicious mockery. And I would like to do this to about 6 different fish, just hitting them with insults such as, "Oh, you're a smelly bastard, aren't you?" And then turn to another one and be like, "Oh, is this your dumbass friend?" And till I finish doing this to about 6 fish, and then I'm going to put them into my backpack, and I say, "Got the fish."
I rolled a
Oh,
16 on the
yes.
first one, so that didn't happen. The second one rolled a 6, so you got 1 fish. The third fish, I
Okay.
rolled a nat 20, so no. The
Okay.
fourth fish, I rolled a 14. What's your save?
15.
Really? Oh, yeah, you do have
Yeah,
a
I got the 20 on
on your
charisma.
charisma. I'm
I'm just swinging it.
So, yeah, you got like 3 fish out of the 6 that you yelled at.
I pull up. the
Oddly
fish,
enough, they are saltwater fish.
Interesting. I feel like it's salt water on the other side of this portal, and it's fresh water on this side of the portal. But maybe that's just me being wrong.
Wait.
I would.
Don't you mean the opposite way?
Well, why? How? No, this is a pond. Isn't this? Is this? It seems like this would be a freshwater pond, and the
Yes,
other one
it's
would be
definitely
like
a freshwater pond.
Right.
It seems that
But the salt water is leaking through the portal, so then the fresh water would be going the opposite way.
No, I imagine the ocean on the other side would be bigger, so that when the portal opened up, the salt water would pour in, and
Right.
Yep.
And it
I
just
think we're
overtakes the-
understanding each other just in different ways.
Are we,
The
are we
salt
agreeing?
water, the pressure difference, because I'm going to use some science on you.
Oh dear. Lord.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I'm gonna learn you.
if I was an intelligent person, I would say that the portal is probably very low in the ocean, where pressure is a lot more high. So the water has like a large amount of water on top of it. So the pressure on one side is a lot higher than the pond. So the ocean gets pushed out through the portal into the pond.
So we realistically don't want to go through this portal anyway, as if we did, we would just go through to the bottom of an ocean. I feel like the pressure change alone would kill us.
Well, not only that, but I mean, depending on how long the portal stays open, it would seem that this lake would be getting bigger every time that portal opens.
Yeah, that seems like it would be true. That makes sense to me.
Anyway, while he had his face underwater yelling at the fish, I just kind of look at Gorn. I'm like, that is a strange, strange man.
You're telling me, mate.
It is not my fault that I am simply effective.